host USA Today Sports' Lorenzo Reyes breaks down what Patriots could be hunting for in the upcoming NFL Draft. USA Today Sports: The NFL Draft is only 3 weeks away. Which is to say we've officially entered the pre-draft rumor mill phase, which is billowing smokescreens and wild speculation fueling the league's version of silly season. Delightful! So following the Rams lead, GM Lee Snead has already made 5 significant off-season trades after obtaining WR Brandon Cooks from the Patriots on Tuesday evening. Our latest mock draft will delve deep into the trade market while adding grist for a mill now in overdrive. And in a year when so many highly capable quarterbacks are coming out, this could provide a reasonably realistic slice of what's to come on April 26, when the draft room phones could be ringing even more than usual. 1. Browns, Josh Allen, QB, Wyoming. Yup, the latest, buzz links Allen and his ballistic arm to Cleveland. But before you dismiss a notion, consider that new Browns GM John Dorsey traded up last year, when he was running the board in Kansas City, to select Patrick Mahomes, who, like Allen, probably had the biggest fastball and most upside, and risk, of any incoming passer. And even though arm strength remains a dubious trait when forecasting NFL success, it's definitely a nice attribute for quarterbacks who play in the AFC North's cold and windy climes. Like Mahomes, Allen would also reap the benefits of joining an up-and-coming roster while sitting behind a veteran, Tyrod Taylor in this case. 2. Proposed trade bills, from Giants, Sam Darnold, QB, USC. Okay, let's have some fun. Buffalo didn't believe in Taylor and certainly didn't invest in AJ McCarron at a level that would suggest Team Brass believes he'll replicate his championship feats at Alabama. But with Darnold, widely regarded as the best overall quarterback in the draft, on the board in our scenario, GM Brandon Beane has to complete his systematic trek to the top of the board to get the long-awaited successor to Jim Kelly. But this won't come cheaply given the price the Jets already paid, 3 second-rounders, just to move up 3 pegs. Giants GM Dave Gettleman could reasonably expect Beane to fork over the 12th and 22nd picks of this draft in next year's first-rounder. 3. Jets, from Colts, Josh Rosen, QB, UCLA. Had he not been born in 1943, Joe Namath might have been a millennial right out of central casting. So don't expect GM Mike McCagnon to flinch at taking Rosen. There's probably no rookie QB better equipped to step right into Gangrene's lineup, no matter how much former Bruins coach Jim Mora elaborates/equivocates about him. 4. Browns, from Texans, Saquon Barkley, Air Bay, Penn State. Dorsey will owe the football gods quite an offering if he winds up with a quarterback of his choice in Barkley, who's almost universally regarded as the draft's best player and perhaps the perfect guy. See Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, et al. To relieve pressure on a sidekick like Allen. 5. Broncos, Denzel Ward, CB, Ohio State. Denver let perennial Pro Bowler Aqib Talib go and may lose Bradley Roby to free agency next year. Cover corners grow on trees in Columbus, Ohio, and Ward is ripe for the picking, capable of stepping into Talib's shoes and keeping the no-fly zone devoid of enemy TD passes. 6. Colts, from Jets, Bradley Chubb, North Carolina State. Though GM Chris Ballard surely remains open for business as he rebuilds the foundation around Andrew Luck, he'll be hard-pressed to bypass a pass rusher and relentless run stopper of Chubb's caliber, especially since he's capable of closing out games and enabling Luck to hand off more. 7. Proposed trade: Giants, from Buccaneers, Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame. Gettleman strikes again. Using the 12th pick acquired from Buffalo as bait, he gets back on the horn with Bucs GM Jason Licht, who took Jason Pierre-Paul off his hands last month. Knowing he is again in front of Chicago, which employs Nelson's former Fighting Irish O-line coach, Harry Easton, Gettleman could also send Licht a 3rd-rounder to flip from 12th to 7th. Why do it? Nelson may be the best player in the draft not named Saquon. He would help the Giants win now and later regardless of which quarterback he's protecting, and most surely help revive a dormant ground game. All that aside, Gettleman's bank rushes are reserved for his beloved Hog Mollies. 8. Bears, Minkah Fitzpatrick, DB, Alabama, they spent free agency putting new pieces around QB Mitchell Trubisky and would surely like to count Nelson as part of that effort. Barring that, there's probably not another offensive player on GM Ryan Pace's top 10 radar. But Fitzpatrick would enhance the defense charged with combating slot receivers like Randall Cobb, Golden Tate and Stephon Diggs. Fitzpatrick can eventually settle into a safety combo with former Bama teammate Eddie Jackson if Adrian Amos moves on in free agency next year. 49ers, Derwin James, Florida State. The Niners have been busy building a Seattle-style defense laden with former Seahawks, including CB Richard Sherman and Super Bowl's Levi MVP Malcolm Smith. James isn't exactly Earl Thomas or Cam Chancellor, but is a special player whose makeup is a combination of skills that includes some of the best attributes of Seattle's star safety tandem. 10. Proposed trade: Cardinals, from Raiders, Baker Mayfield, QB, Oklahoma. Maybe Arizona won't have to go that far for its long-term answer under center. We've got GM Steve Keim sending a 3rd and 5th round pick to Oakland in order to swap their round 1 slots and jump the Cards ahead of Miami, which has been widely linked to Mayfield. The fiery Heisman Trophy winner has every intention of playing right away, and given his ability, in fellow Sooner Sam Bradford's lengthy medical chart, it might very well be Mayfield feeding Larry Fitzgerald and David Johnson under the capable tutelage of OC Mike McCoy. 11. Dolphins, Roquan Smith, Pound, Georgia. Miami's defense was merely average with Ndamukong Suh, which speaks volumes. Last year's linebackers didn't prove very effective despite the benefit of lining up behind Suh in the double teams he commanded. Hence, a strong case to be made for a guy like Smith, who's far more capable of making plays on his own while bringing a nice streak of leadership. More, 3 and out. Miami Dolphins 2018 NFL Draft needs, prospect fits. 12. Proposed trade: Buccaneers, from Bengals via Bills and Giants, Mark Hughes, CB, Central Florida. Tampa Bay doesn't have to drive far, or look beyond state lines, to snag a player who can further remedy the NFL's worst defense in 2017 while also adding juice to the Bucs' return game. 13. Redskins, Vita Vea, DT, Washington. No team gave up more rushing yards last year than the Skins. Vea 6'4", 347-pound frame alone will obstruct running lanes, but he's also uniquely mobile for a man his size and has shown the ability to bag quarterbacks. 2.14. Proposed trade: Chargers, from Packers, Tremaine Edmonds, Pound, Virginia Tech. Bolts GM Tom Telesco admits needing more from his linebackers. It's probably worth surrendering a 4th-round pick in order to leapfrog the Raiders for Edmonds, 19, who already packs 253 pounds onto his 6'5" frame. Yet his size doesn't appear to impede his range, and that could bolster the AFC's worst run defense, which is sometimes left vulnerable up the middle when Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram are roaring around the edges. 15. Proposed trade: Raiders, from Cardinals, Daron Payne, DT, Alabama. John Gruden would probably like another toy for his offense, but the smart play is putting more talent around Khalil Mack in a defense that ranked 23 RD. 16. Ravens, Marcus Davenport, Texas San Antonio. Outgoing GM Ozzie Newsome's final 1st-round pick might be best spent on a player who could ultimately supplant Terrell Suggs, who remains Baltimore's best pass rusher at age 35. Davenport would benefit from Suggs' wisdom and on-field presence before the 7-time Pro Bowl selection winds down. 17. Proposed trade: Packers, from Chargers, Calvin Ridley, WR, Alabama. Jordy Nelson is gone, and Randall Cobb might be in a year. Ridley effectively mixes the skills of both, ready to run polished routes now and able to provide the deep speed lost with Nelson's departure. More, 3 and out. Green Bay Packers 2018 NFL Draft needs, prospect fits. 18. Proposed trade: Steelers, from Seahawks, Rashaan Evans, Pound, Alabama. Pittsburgh's defense and Super Bowl aspirations fell apart last season after Pound Ryan Shazier was lost in Week 13. Pittsburgh GM Kevin Colbert probably can't wait for Evans, whose abilities largely mirror Shazier's, and would likely have to part with a 3rd-rounder and additional sweeteners to get Seattle to drop 10 slots. But the championship window for Ben Roethlisberger Antonio Brown and others may close soon, and this is the kind of bold move that could secure a record 7th Lombardi Trophy. 19. Cowboys, DJ Moore, WR, Maryland. WR's Des Bryant and Alan Ernst and Jason Witten are all nice weapons but essentially classify as rebounders. Moore is an explosive asset who could take this offense to another level. Moore, 3 and out, Dallas Cowboys 2018 NFL Draft needs, prospect fits 20. Proposed trade Patriots, from Alliance, Harold Landry, OLB, Boston College. New England suddenly has a fair amount of holes yet also an ample supply of mid-round picks to move up. Why not deal with old buddies Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, who have a lot of work to do in order to remain relevant in the NFC North? New England's inability to get a key defensive stop was on display in Super Bowl 52. Landry might be the answer to the question that's lingered since Chandler Jones was offloaded 2 years ago. More, 7 NFL Draft WR options for Patriots to replace Brandon Cooks 21. Bengals, from Bills, James Daniels, C, Iowa. Trading for LT Cordy Glenn was a major step in the right direction, but Cincinnati's O-line is not yet sufficiently fortified. More, 3 and out. Cincinnati Bengals 2018 NFL Draft needs, prospect fits 22. Proposed trade Giants, from Chiefs via Bills, Taven Bryan, DT, Florida. Much of the focus in New York has been on offensive deficiencies. However, the defense could also look appreciably different under new coordinator James Bettcher. Bryan is another talented big man likely to intrigue Gettleman and can project as a 3 or 5 technique, depending on the front. And with the 2019 first-rounder we gave Gettleman in the Buffalo deal, he remains well-equipped to make a run at a quarterback next year, if Eli Manning disintegrates. 23. Patriots, from Rams, Mike McGlinchey, on Notre Dame. Though WR's Danny Amendola and now Cooks are gone, it's far more important to prioritize a bouncer, for Tom Brady, who spent nearly every snap of his career capably protected by Matt Light and New York Giant Nate Solder. 24. Panthers, Christian Kirk, WR, Texas A&M. Carolina's installing a new offense under veteran coordinator Norv Turner. But despite the presence of scout-back Christian McCaffrey, Greg Olsen and WR's Devin Funchess and Torrey Smith, there's definitely immediate and long-term room for a player like Kirk, who can operate outside when not capably manning the slot. He could also take over return duties now that McCaffrey has become the lead back. 25. Titans, Leighton Vander Esch, pound, Boise State, at 6'4" and 256 pounds. He's built almost exactly like new Tennessee head coach Mike Vrabel, an extremely versatile player during his 14-year NFL career. Vrabel could be the perfect sculptor for Vander Esch, who could give this defense a boost whether he's lining up inside or on the edge. 26. Falcons, Will Hernandez, G, Texas El Paso. Atlanta's roster has very few holes, but Hernandez would represent a marked improvement without being a reach in the first round. 27. Saints, Harrison Phillips, DT, Stanford. There's a reason New Orleans wanted Sue. Phillips doesn't have Sue's gifts, certainly no knock on him, but his motor never stops, and his combination of strength and techniques refined as a 3-time state wrestling champion in Nebraska would make him a formidable presence between Cam Jordan and Sheldon Rankins. 28. Proposed trade Seahawks, from Steelers, Joshua Jackson, CB, Iowa. Seattle GM John Schneider likes to work the board and historically moves down, an approach which makes even more sense as he reloads the roster this year. At 6 feet and 196 pounds with exceptional ball skills, Jackson is almost a football clone of Sherman, who is slightly taller. 29. Proposed trade Dolphins, from Jaguars, Lamar Jackson, QB, Louisville. Ryan Tannehill's problematic knee casts further doubt on a career that seemed to be maxing out at adequate before he initially went down in 2016. Jackson has significantly more upside, and Adam Gase, who's worked with all flavors of quarterback, could be the guy to maximize his highly intriguing potential. It makes sense to trade back into the first round in order to get the prize 5th-year contract option, especially with a quarterback. Meanwhile, Jacksonville can ask for an additional 3rd rounder while taking Miami's round 2 selection. 42nd, overall. 30. Vikings, hire Alexander, CB, Louisville, Mike Zimmer co-signed the massive free agent gamble on QB Kirk Cousins. Probably wise to now give him one of the corners he values so deeply, especially if Terrence Newman doesn't come back or finally breaks down once he turns 40.31. Proposed trade Lions, from Patriots, Sony Michel, Arabe, Georgia. The Alvin Kamara comparison. He seems to invite his aptitude would greatly enhance an offense that's gotten little capability or reliability from its backs. Michel and LeGarrette Blount would be a potent tandem. 32, Eagles, Hayden Hurst, Tay, South Carolina. Philly loves double tight sets, but Zach Ertz had to say goodbye to Trey Burton and Brent Select this offseason. Hurst would be an upgrade over both. More, 3 and out. Philadelphia Eagles 2018 NFL Draft Needs, Prospect Fits. Follow Nate Davis on Twitter @ByNateDavis.